Okay, so we're going to start again with Sydney, and my software froze up. Again, it's been a week. So Sydney had some great things to say about how she, I know, Sydney, that you've been going through some personal issues with your health and your daughter, and you got to get away for an hour and had such a fabulous experience. And I'm so happy that you were able to have that hour of reprieve from, everything that you're dealing with. Anyway, my heart goes out to you. So let's take a look at what you saw. And yeah, this is really pretty. It's a nice symmetrical image, and I just love what this forest looks like. Wow, you've got are those what do they call them? Birch trees with the white bark. So pretty. So I do like that one. And this one is just, so rich in yellows and oranges. I'm thinking that you maybe enhanced the colors in this one, but I still like it. I think it's good. But this, Sydney, this is gorgeous. I love everything about it. I love all the reflections. I am such a sucker for reflections. I like seeing all the different plants, and I like seeing, the sediment at the bottom, and it's just a great view. And even though it's symmetrical from top to bottom, I don't even mind that. I don't know what I would take away. I wouldn't take away anything. So this is definitely a keeper. And then this one, I see there's some interest in the shapes of the trees, like this one in particular. What happened that year? The sun was going this way, and then it was no, it's going this way. So that's cute. But I don't know if it's the best. I like it. This one I like, and big slingshot shaped tree, but it looks like a marvelous walk. I do like the light and shadow on the trees. And this one, that was that same location as before. I do really like this one as well. But I almost feel like because the two are similar, you'd have to choose one. I would choose the other. But whatever you think, those diagonals, so interesting. So now let's go take a look at your contact sheet version. Okay, so here's Sydney's contact sheet and the overall view. And I love looking at the contact sheet because then I can see all of your ideas as they're occurring and everything that you saw. Because sometimes, you don't even know that what you've gotten is a treasure. Okay, so I think we talked about the first three. Love. That one we talked about. This one is just completely different. Yeah, I think if it were to go with the other images, you would need to increase the contrast and the saturation and maybe clarity. Just my thoughts. Okay, and then we talked about this one. I'm going to just slide over here real quick. So I don't like spoil the surprise. Okay. I like that, I like what you were going for here with all the different birds. I think it's just a little bit too distant to be effective. But this one works. This one works. I like this kind of zigzag effect here. I like the little bit of the spray of color. I like this little loner over here. He's a rebel. And what I would do is I would definitely increase contrast and clarity in this image. And then it would be up to you if you wanted to increase maybe the reds. Because we don't always have to have saturated images. I mean, I like them, but we don't always have to go that route, There's many options. Okay, this one is like an interesting close-up. I would also like to see that one increase clarity and contrast. So that's kind of like a nice foil to the other big views. And we talked about that one, I believe. Or maybe it was this one. So the two are quite similar. And this one I think is a little too similar to the first one. And we talked about that one. And this one that I love. This. Oh my gosh. Sydney. I'm in love with this picture. In love. It's just like, it's got so many layers to it. The reflection of the images, but yet in the shadows you see what's underneath the surface. I love that. So we're seeing all this sediment, and it's adding color to those shadows. And yet we can see the sky. Oh, totally brilliant. Adore. Keeper, keeper, keeper. Okay, and there's, I think that's our favorite, our other favorite. Wait, we looked at this. Okay, let's go down. I think we've got one more row. And this one is really interesting as well. I love the blue sky reflected in this, I don't know what you would even call it. It's almost like runoff, winter runoff, It's not necessarily a stream. But I like everything that's going on here. I love all these like random branches and how they're creating lines that lead our eyes. Again, I would increase clarity, contrast, and then saturation would be up to you. And this one is nice too. I like the depth that you've captured, from this close-up, this so close, to this distant. That would be a maybe. And we talked about this one. Honestly, like the roads and trails, they look man-made to me. So the man-made, in this case, for me, kind of takes away, and it almost feels like that's what anyone would do, It's like such an obvious choice that I think that you've made some better decisions by looking elsewhere. And that one's nice too. That would be a maybe. And I think that one was your first image. And again, now looking back, the other things you have are so much better. Oh, we got another row. Okay, this one, I love this little mountain stream happening here. That is fun stuff. Reminds me of my childhood. That's nice. Okay, this one is your keeper though. I really enjoy the way you framed this. You know, we've got this whole diagonal thing going on. Crazy good composition. So this is your best mountain stream. Oh my gosh, Sydney. Look at all the great pictures you have here. Look at them. Yeah. Wow. That's a lovely series. I think you need to come up with a title for it. And you could even go with, you know, something that was really what happened. Like a moment's reprieve from life, or, you know, not necessarily that word, but that kind of idea, you know, getting away from it all. But you don't want to go, you know, too cliche, because it's special. It is. It's special. Okay, I'm going to pause there. Alrighty, here's Belinda. And already been a favorite. So good. Yeah, spring, summer, flowering plants. Oh, me too. That says a lot in just, you know, a few sentences. Okay, so here's one that I really like. I love this framing that you've captured here. And this huge, thick vine is fascinating. And then you've got some more curves happening. So I do like that one. This one, it feels like, wow, you've got a major symmetrical moment going on here. And your reflections. But I don't think that I would change it. Like, you know, say you were to go completely symmetrical, you know, and crop it smaller. I think that would take away. I think that would simplify it too much. This one I'm not so sure about. It feels like there's not enough. It's a beautiful blue in the sky. I like the color of the leaves. Yeah, I'm just not sure about that one. I'd almost rather see the entire tree, you know? Okay, so let's take a look at your contact sheet. Okay, here's your big picture. And I love to see this. And I honestly, now looking at this and remembering what I saw here, I'm surprised at the three that you chose. I mean, I do agree that this is pretty because of the color, but I think you've got better images here. All right, let's zoom in. And there we go, top row. And you know, when you put it in a PDF, it takes away some of the clarity, so we're not getting the full effect of the image, but you know, pretty good facsimile. Okay, I love this picture. Love, love, love. I think the colors are beautiful. I love the silhouette. I like the reflection. I like this light aberration. Very, very nice. This to me is better than all of the others that you chose. It's just good. It's just good. It's got a great composition to it. Ooh, going right through. This one, I mean, it is just like winter, winter, winter. You know, everything's kind of dead. Doesn't look very clear. Not sure what the focal point is. And the sky is like washed out and gray. So I'm not sure about that one. This one we like, though. And then I think that this is, what do you call those things? is it a blind? No, it's not a blind. It's a... Oh gosh, I haven't been around hunters for so long. It's like, it's a stand, I think. You just get up in there and, you can look for things to shoot, I guess. Looks like it's a little rickety. It's interesting. And it looks like, some of this forest has been cleared, sadly. But, things happen. I kind of like the wintry look of it with this, this little structure that is similar colors. Yeah, I think I would increase the clarity and the contrast in that one. But I like it. And this one is so different. Wow, that lighting. Just so, it's so gray and, evergreen. And this tree's beautiful, and it's almost competing for the subject with this tree. But I like their play off each other. I like this one. I think I would put it in, increase the focus and the clarity for sure. Not focus, what am I saying? Clarity and contrast. This one almost feels like more of a farm story. So if you were going for something like that, I can see how this would work. For me, it doesn't really go with the others that we've chosen so far. And nor does this one, and only because, we've got this sign that is almost like an entrance to a place, like a farm, and, there's this little garden that's sleeping for the winter. I mean, this piece of machinery or whatever that is kind of cool, but if I were to go back, I think I would keep it more about that. I would get closer, get some of that texture, and what's in the distance. And this one is so simple, but I really like it. I love the single pole, and I love the golden light on the ground and the shadows, and it's just plain and simple and good photography. And this tree here cracks me up. I don't know what it is about it. It looks like a character. And then this one looks like a character, They're so funny. They could be like Muppets if you put eyes on them. And I like the sloping hill. I'm not sure what these little dots are here. So maybe you could use a patch tool in Photoshop and just, circle around it. Drag it to the left so you can get rid of those, but I think it's kind of fun. Like I said, it feels like characters. Okay, now this is a huge keeper. This is my absolute favorite so far. I adore this. I mean, when I say I love reflections, I am so serious about that. I adore reflections. I love great shadows. Great photo. It's just got layers to it. It's classic. And in my art history class that I'm teaching, we just saw Great Piece of Turf by Albrecht Dürer, D-U-R-E-R, and, just classic little patch of turf. Yeah, that's my favorite. Oh, okay, we looked at those. Alright, let's go down to the next row. Okay, this is interesting. I mean, we've got a rocky ground and some fence posts. And I guess those are maybe roots sticking up. I'm not even sure. But I don't know about that one. I think it would you would almost have to get down close to see the texture of the rocks in the foreground, and then, you know, what's faded out in the distance, or what is even in, you know, clear and just so much smaller in the distance to make that a more interesting photo. And then this one is, I think, another shot of your symmetry image. I really like that this, I mean, are those like thorny branches? I love thorny branches. And then the exposed roots too. Perhaps you could get a close-up of those thorny branches and see where that takes you. Yeah, we did talk about that one. I do like it. Okay, let's back up here. Alright, this is another really good one. Really well composed. I find the exposed tree roots so interesting. And I don't know if I would increase the greens, because I think that you know, it's a nice wintry feeling. It has nice shadows to it, nice reflections. But perhaps could increase the saturation of the blue a little bit, or the contrast, to see, you know, where that takes you. And then this one is like so much softer. So I feel like maybe this wasn't done in one single day, because there's different lighting, you know, which brings different color. So this one is really soft, and I like it. I would say that's a maybe. And then this one, I mean, your star here is the purple, like blossoms, or, you know, flowering tree. That's the last one, okay. I might just get closer, because this is like, look at this farm, you know, I saw this farm. How can you make it a unique viewpoint to you that other people might not even notice? You know, so you have to kind of check yourself and think, is this what everyone would see? You know, eye level. Just, you know, if they looked that direction, they would see it. So that's one thing that I always try to do. I try to check myself. And then we talked about this one. This one isn't bad. I like the textures, and I like the sky. It does feel a little bit cut off to me, but again, I'm not the end-all be-all. I'm just an opinion. And I think there's things going on in here, but there's so much going on. It's a little distracting. All of those branches and branches and branches, you know. And this one's interesting. The color of the water. So gray. I mean, I think you could play with that, whether it's with contrast or clarity, or even saturation, but you want to come up with a series that looks like it belongs together, you know, like this is all one landscape photography story. And then what would you name it, you know? That is the question. Okay, let's take a look at your panorama. I think we've got it, don't we? No, that's Antoine's. Oh, you put yours in a PDF. Oh, yes, I do remember this now. This is gorgeous. This is the kind of thing that would work so well for a website as like a banner, you know, moving into your photography. It's like, do you see how the lighting changes? Oh. And, you know, we've got so much fun here. Beautiful reflections here. This part's not my favorite, but we need it. We need it to like balance everything out. So, yeah, keep that one for sure. All right, Belinda, I'm going to go on to the next person. So I can't wait to see what you come up with when you're editing these. Alrighty, Antoine. Nature and outdoors in a way that brings the viewer into the scene. See, your writing is just so intelligent. I would definitely, if I were you, and the skills that you have with writing, I would have like maybe a quote when you go to do your final website, or a passage, and maybe even several, so that people can see, you know, the way that you think and the way that, you know, you process your thoughts and about photography, because that's really lovely. It gives me a, you know, it makes me feel, you know, it just is like pleasing. Okay, so you sought out to go to a natural place where there were no wires. And, you know, landscape photography does not have to be about just nature. Most people think that, but you can have urban, suburban. It doesn't have to all be rural. And, you know, even this tree, you know, I think this is a sidewalk in the distance. So it's like well kept, you know, it's been, you know, planted and it's weeded. So it does still feel like suburban, right? You know, like a tended to park. I like the colors in this image. It's obvious what your focal point is. So I enjoy that about it. And this one I wanted to talk to you about because even though I love that sky is the bomb. I gotta stop saying that. The sky is very interesting. This, to me, is someone else's artwork. It's something that was put in place at the park, you know, like as a remembrance. It looks like a memorial, or what else do you call those kind of things? I'm trying to think. Like a, wait, I'll think of it. Oh, I can't think of the word. It's like, you know, when you bring candles and, you know, something that would be in your home that maybe be religious and everything. But yeah, I'll think of that later. But there are other ways that you could look at this artwork that are unique. You know, I know it would be difficult to get in there and look up at this angel's face and perhaps, you know, just the angel's face against the sky. But you can try zooming in. If you zoom, you're going to want to use one of the tripod methods, whether it's an actual tripod or setting your camera on a sturdy surface, or just clenching your arms in tight to your body. That will help, but you're still going to breathe. Anyway, you can have a better chance of zooming in and getting a nice clear photo where you're recreating someone else's artwork in your own way, in your own eyes. So that would be good if, you know, you were showing like highlights of the park. You know, but to me it's not your photograph because it's just showing us something at the park. And I feel like this one is similar to the first. It's just a different arrangement. But yeah, that sky is really pretty. This one I actually don't get. I mean, I think that this is maybe playground equipment. You know, it looks like a little letter H. And it's right in the center. So I don't love the composition, and I'm just not sure what it was for you that was exciting here. So you have to tell me. I mean, don't think that I'm picking on you. I'm trying to prepare you for, oh, I don't want to look at that yet because it's awesome. All right, so I'm going to pause there and open up your contact sheet. Okay, Antoine, this is your big picture. You know, where we can see where you've been and what you looked at and what you've done on your tour of the park. So let's zoom in a little bit. Take a look at what you've captured, what caught your fancy. Sometimes I hear myself and I'm like, oh my gosh. You're getting up there. I tend to use out-of-date expressions. That's what I mean. Okay. So I like, kind of like the diagonals here. Something stands out for me, and this is weird, but I once did a series on water towers, and way back in my first photography class. And so I just always notice them. But I notice here that the colors of the water tower look so beautiful with the sky. So, that could have been a more like suburban landscape type deal. So that's interesting to me. And then this one I think we talked about. This one I don't think we talked about. And I like the various types of trees here, but I can't say anything really stands out. This one you've got, capturing that beautiful sky. So I'm seeing like the walkway and then the trees getting smaller into the distance. So I think I would enhance the clarity and the contrast there. And then this one we talked about, that was one of your favorites. Okay. This one again, it's like, leading up to that artwork, that installation, I guess you'd call it. I still keep trying to think of that word. I like this, but I don't know if it's interesting enough. Yeah, you might actually be a good one to try taking out something to either lay down on or step up on so that you can get a different vantage point and see the world in a way that's different than what everybody else sees. So anyone who was here that night might stand in front of this, this artwork and see the same thing. So how can you make that your own? And I really love that little angel. She could be effective if she's taken out of this, very manicured presentation here. And then this one looks like it's going into the town area. I can't say I mind it. I would definitely increase focus and contrast and clarity. And this one is kind of mysterious to me. This stuff here looks like kudzu or something that's dead. And then we've got these glowing lights amidst the trees. So that in itself makes this image more interesting. But I would again increase contrast, clarity, and try to make it pop a little bit more. And this one I do like for you. It is, you know, kind of like one of those, I hate to say it, but it's true. It's like a cliche where you're, you know, walking on this path. And again, it's something that everyone can see. So how can you make it your own personal vision, you know, what you saw that no one else might see? And then this, you know, it's like heart of the park. So I kind of feel the same way about that. And that, and this. Although I kind of like these, the lights. They're almost like, you know, like man-made trees. So that could be interesting, those lights. This one's nice. I like this one. I like the pampas grass. I like this line. I like the composition. So this one is a keeper, I think. I just like how the clouds are working with the plants, and it just kind of appeals to me. But again, I would increase contrast and the clarity. Okay, so I don't know about that one. I mean, it's like a stadium, right? For sports. Okay. Now let's take a look at your amazing panorama. So let's see if I can find it. Yes. There it is. What a lovely spiral you've created here. And you know, it's like a portal into another world. And it's also kind of like a bug's eye view. You know, this is what the trees would look like if you were very, very small. And then this is like, I don't know, it just reminds me of like a hay bale that has a portal in the center. So I really, really do like that one, Antoine. So definitely keep that. Maybe you want to play with more panoramas so you can have that as a category. Think about it. It's a good idea. All right, next we've got, 1 second. Okay, here's Bryce coming in as, you know, a humble as he can possibly be. And it wasn't easy. And he liked it better than food. I get that. And the panorama was, you know, took you a few tries. That's normal. Yeah, you have to be a lawn sprinkler when you're taking your panorama. I thought about that, and I thought, you guys probably don't even know what a lawn sprinkler is. They don't really have those anymore. But it's just, you know, you're shh, 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 taking a shot every time, you know, so that the shots overlap, and then you won't get that, you know, where they don't want to merge. Yes, we are not professionals, and I can say myself, I'm not a professional photographer. I am a professional teacher, so that's a little bit different. I think I'm good at portraits, but I mean, I don't know. Definitely have my opinions. All right, so this is gorgeous, Bryce. In fact, no, I didn't save these, did I? No. I just saved your panorama and your contact sheet. This is such beautiful colors, great composition. I love seeing the detail that's near to us. And then we've got middle ground, we've got distance, you know, background, and the clouds and the colors. Great shot, keeper. This one is, it's okay. Feels like you're in your car. But you probably weren't. You're probably standing on the road. But I don't know if it's as interesting as the first one. And if you've been listening to the other commentary, that road that goes into the distance is such a, I don't want to say common image, but it is actually really a popular thing to do. So we want to really create something that's unique to us. So that's not saying it's a bad photo. It is a good photo. All right, and these clouds are just incredible. I mean, what a cloud bank that is. And this is nice. I'm not sure what all this is going on in here. I mean, it appears to be like maybe a farm. So that part I don't know about, but definitely the sky, the land, the shadows are very interesting. And then I feel like maybe you were peeking through a fence to see these animals because they're so far away. Or maybe you just didn't want to disturb them. But this one could benefit greatly by getting closer, because it's almost even hard to tell what's going on here. You could also try cropping it and see if it's clearer enough. And you could try increasing, things like clarity, contrast, but it's pretty contrasty already, so maybe not that. I just want to see the animals a little closer. And I love the way the clouds are working with the animals. You see what I mean? So this section is good. All right, we're going to look at your contact sheet, and I don't want to show your panorama and give that away just yet. Hold on. Okay, here is Bryce's big picture, what he saw that day, and he had a bright, nice, sunshiny day. I can tell it was taken all in one day just by the colors are similar. And let's take a closer look. So forgive me that these critiques are kind of long, but right now we're in preparation for our final portfolio. So you're going to need to use this feedback when you're selecting your final images. It's just things to think about if you have some reshooting to do. Okay. I like this one. Oh, there's a finger. I can't say I'm crazy about just the horizon being right in the middle. It is very straight, though. Gotta commend you for that. And then this one, I think it has too much like man-made stuff in it that's not part of the landscape for me. And then same there, although it is a lovely place for the view. And same there. Same there. Okay, now I think this is the original road shot that we looked at, maybe. Okay, it's similar. Oh no, that's it. Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about this one. Of these two, this one is by far your best. And then I think this is interesting. So you've got a river. Yeah, that would be a maybe. I would try editing it. And then this one we talked about. This one is nice just because of the lighting, and I love the different cloud shapes. I think, though, that I might, I don't know, I might crop it a little bit. These plants right here, or trees, or whatever they are very exciting because they got those nests, almost looks like they're flowers. This tree, probably not as interesting, but I don't know if I want to lose that. Yeah, so I like this one. It's got interesting things going on. I really like the light on the grass. So maybe just a subtle crop so that the line, the horizon is not like right in the middle. But yeah, that's pretty. Okay, this one, I love those clouds. Wow. I think it's just something about this equipment over here, or whatever this is, like a shed. I might try cropping it. And I mean, you could seriously completely remove this from the image. This I don't mind. But I mean, I'm just telling you my thoughts, Bryce. In the end, you need your 3 best. And there's those cows again. So bummer. So yeah, that's the one that you want to work with. So that was a wise choice. Okay, I think that's it. Yep. Alright, so let's take a look at your panorama. And this is really beautiful. It's, you know, I love how the panorama created a curve, and the light on the water, the sky is so interesting. I don't even mind the pier, you know. So this could be like a banner for a website. So if you wanted to have this in the background on your home page of your website that you're going to create, that would work. So you did a great job on that. It is seamless. Okay, good night everybody, and just let me know if you need tutorials for anything, or if you'd like to have like a personal session or even a group meeting. We can do that. All right.